Producers, your publisher, Kristen Brindley, and I'm here with the wonderful Bic DeCaro. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
She is our August cover story, so if you haven't checked it out, please make sure you do. She did like $40 million in business last year.
Thank you.
Yeah, and she has a rising star on her team. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. We're going to hear her story, and she's going to give some tips and things about balance, which I'm excited about because she gets it all done. Like she, family and trips and sells lots of real estate and is happy. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. So I'm going to ask some questions here. So you could do anything. You're a smart lady. Like, why real estate, Bic? Like, why did you decide to do real estate?
Well, I first got into real estate because my brother helped recruit me into the business. He thought it was something that was a perfect fit with my personality, which I'm very grateful that he got me into the business. It's an industry where not only is it lucrative, but it allows me to be able to help and make an impact in people's lives. One of the biggest decisions of their lives, I like to be a part of it, and I'm such a relationship person, so there's a lot of meaning in the business, and it just was just the right fit, and service oriented, which is all things that I like.
That's wonderful. So what has been most rewarding for you within that?
For me, I think it's really just all the amazing people that I've met, not only with clients, but just amazing colleagues and industry leaders, smart business people such as yourself. I mean, it's really been just a wonderful journey for me, just getting to meet all these incredible people and being a part of their growth. With clients, I've seen them as first-time home buyers and then grow into move-up buyers, investors, and so that's been awesome.
That's wonderful. So can you tell us, like, what has been most challenging for the business?
Most challenging. Okay, so we'll circle back to this as how I overcame it, but I think the biggest challenge for me, which most agents probably see too, was really about juggling the hours and the time and the balance. In order to be successful in real estate, you really have to work all those hours where people are not working, and so making some sacrifices early on was critical, and that was kind of tough. When I got into real estate, I was still dating my now husband, so making sacrifices of not always, spending, date night together or making those sacrifices, but also with my children. So I think the hours are tough, but there's a way around it, and I'll discuss that shortly.
Wonderful. We're looking forward to that. So how does real estate fit into like your dreams and your goals, Bic?
So my dreams and goals, it sounds maybe a little bit weird, cheesy or whatever, but I always wanted to be able to impact other people in a positive way. And with real estate, not only, again, it's a lucrative business, it allows me to actually pursue something that I'm passionate about. I love real estate, I love helping people and being able to make a difference. And it's allowed me to do that, and then also be able to provide for the family, and then create opportunities for my team members.
Very cool. Okay, so define success for us.
Okay, so for me, success really is about finding that inner peace for yourself, knowing that you have found a career that you're happy with, that you're making impact not only on yourself, but for other people, and giving back to other people. So for me, it's creating opportunities for team members on my team, clients that I work with, knowing that I was able to help make things easier for them, and making impact in their lives and helping them along whatever journey that they're going on. So it's very rewarding every night knowing that I was able to do that.
That is awesome. I can relate to that. So can you tell us more about your family? Tell us a bit about your family.
Okay, so I come from a very large family. 9 children in my family. I have 6 sisters, 2 brothers, and we came here to the United States in 1975 as refugees from Vietnam. And yeah, so that was a really incredible story that my family had to go through. I was only 1, so I didn't really have to endure all that they had to go through, but that really shaped who I am. I have my husband Brandon and my 2 children. Madison's my daughter, who's going to 8th grade, and my son Luke going to 6th grade this year.
That's awesome. So Bic, what are you currently learning?
Well, I'm learning a lot. What I'm really learning about right now is about growing a team And there's a lot of different changes in mindset and developing as a leader myself, and really shifting the mindset from no longer just selling homes, but now I'm selling opportunities to the team members that I work with, or my colleagues and partners. And that's a big shift, because I love selling homes, but I think I love selling the opportunities even more. Really.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about, so you have a rising star on your team, you have a lot of things going on with that. So can you tell us a little bit more about your team structure?
Yes.
and how you're working on that? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. We have an incredible team. Right now we're still just 4 of us. We have our transaction coordinator, client care coordinator, which is Cora Bacosa, and then we have Paul, who is our client care director of client services. And then Kat is our rising star. Kat Massetti is has been amazing. She started with her team brand new from as a pharmacist outside the industry, and came in and was ready to learn, and just really took off. And through the training and the programs and systems that we had in place, she just absorbed and was a sponge, took on everything, and really did very well her first year. Sold 16 million.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely rising star material right there. First year. Good Lord. Good training program. Can you tell us a little bit how those systems, and because you live a great life. I see your Facebook. Can you tell us a little bit about how you make all that work and do everything that you do?
Oh, thank you. Well, it's not always easy, but one of the ways that I learned, it took me a while to learn it, but is really just being able to let go. Leveraging the time is the critical lesson that I learned, getting people to help. And so when I formed the team, that was a big piece of it, just getting people in to help me with the areas that took me the longest to do, which is a lot of the administrative tasks. So thank you to Cora Bacosa, who helps us with so much of the back end, behind the scenes stuff. Also Paul, just helping with all these things that, I can't be in all places at once. And so he really helps with that piece of it. And then just leveraging through people, that's the big piece. Second part is, so that's on the business side. But on the personal side, what I did was realize that there was a lot of weight on the guilt of being a mother, wife, all that. So I was thinking outside of the domestic duties that I felt like I needed to do, where could I get help? And that was really with hiring someone that helped us with cleaning. I'm never that good at cleaning, so it took me forever. I didn't want to spend all my weekends doing that, going from an appointment, coming home, and then having to clean the house. So hired help with cleaning our house early on, but then also—
That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
We do that too.
Yeah, it's awesome. But the biggest one that I learned only in the last couple of years was hiring someone that helps cook for us. So we were eating all the time, like out, and just not the healthiest meals. And I was on a showing, and I went in, and during the showing there was a lady there, and I was like, oh, who's this person? I thought it was the homeowner, and it turned out it was a lady that was there, like a personal chef for the family, and she cooked for the family because the husband traveled all the time and the wife works. And so she kind of gave me her pitch and took her card and ended up hiring her. And it's been a lifesaver because I don't have to worry about the personal grocery shoppings, making the list, and then cooking. If I'm running late on an appointment, I don't have to worry that my family has a meal.
That's great.
We can still sit down and eat together, and yeah, it's amazing. So that's been a big kind of life-changing thing for us, is hiring her. And it always feels weird because I'm like personal chef, or our lady helper, but it's not as expensive as people think. Turns out it's actually less expensive as what we were spending eating out all the time or getting takeout. And
I bet, yeah.
And healthier too. So that's been a big piece.
No, that's awesome. So, you had to have. Do you have a nice amount of systems in place? Because to have someone start on your team and in their first year or a couple of years do 16 million, what does that look like?
Yes. So the great thing is we do have a good lead generation system in place that helps provide for any team member that comes on gets leads instantly. But the training piece of it is really understanding the scripts. So we did some role playing. That's very important with overcoming objections and helping people through the process of understanding what their needs are. So we go through that training. We do video training, believe it or not.
That's
we do
great.
that. And we also have like the CRM in place and also templates and things that are kind of plug and play. So I always like to call it like the if this then that type mentality.
Yes.
There are certain situations that come up very repetitively, very predictably in real estate, and so in each of those scenarios we have what does that mean next, and we have those next steps protocols in place.
That's great. Sounds like a great situation. Can you tell us a little bit about hobbies, interests, things you like to do with your family, and that you like to do?
Sure. So one of our favorite things as a family to do is we love traveling. So early on in my career, with setting big goals, it was always about experiences, less about things. And so we really wanted to travel and be able to kind of spend these meaningful moments together. Someone had told me early on that don't think of it as years, think of it as times. And when you think of it as times, it's actually really scary to think about, like, oh my gosh, only 5 more times that I get to go on spring break with my daughter, or so you really want to make sure you maximize all that. So all of our goals that I set for myself and for the team is catered around trips with our families. And so for my family, it's like we go for spring break, we go away for winter break. We schedule a lot of trips, usually 6 per year, which sounds like a lot, but I would love to get to 8 or 10. But yeah, so we do that, and we also do, for me personally, I love sports. I love going to my kids' games and performances, and then my new hobby over the last 3 years has been tennis. So
that's great. And you hadn't played tennis, right? And you
No,
picked it up, and
no, my kids and my husband, they saw me going and supporting them in their sports, and I'm very competitive. I love cheering for them, and they said, you could do it too. And I needed to do a fitness thing for myself, so instead of just going to work out, I decided to join a tennis team. So I learned tennis, and that's my new passion too. I love tennis.
that's great.
Yeah.
Hobbies like that sounds like fun. What sets you apart, makes you different?
So what sets me apart? Okay, so I think it really comes down to the caring aspects and the empathy that I have for people. I love people in general. I love being, I'm a very big relationships person. Sometimes it comes across as like in negotiations. If you've ever worked across the table for me, I can be tough, but the people that work closely to me know that I really have a big heart and I really care about people. And so I think that translates over to everything we do with our mission, how we help our clients. It's really about the difference that we make, and it's not about the dollars that we make. So, and it shows, it comes across, and the relationships that we build long-term with our clients.
That's great. Okay, so what was your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
Okay, so, I probably failed a lot so far already, but the biggest one I would have to say.
Don't we all, right? Like, yeah.
Thank you. But I think one of the biggest things for me was really not having a plan when forming my team. I kind of went into it with, just ran into it and said, okay, I need to do this right now, and I just need to start hiring. I didn't have a plan, didn't really think it through, and so that was challenging in the beginning. And I'm still learning there, and I feel like there's so much more to learn. But that was the biggest thing, I think, starting off was I didn't know that I needed a team. And so therefore, by the time I was hiring somebody, it was like hiring out of desperation. So
Yeah, because you had a fast start too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you were she started quickly, and then that snowballs into, I need help.
yeah. And it's funny because I always say, one of my quotes that I love is like, the luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. And I'm like, I'm not following my favorite quote. Basically, luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. I need to get lucky. I need to start preparing right now because the opportunity is here.
Yeah. Like it happened fast. When you do the right things, right? Like this. Let's see. So what do you feel that you have done that other real producers absolutely should do?
Oh gosh, well, definitely leveraging your time with getting help, hiring an assistant. I think that's a big piece of it, but also one of the best things that I did, and I feel like I wish I did it earlier, was hiring a coach. Coach in everything. Like, I believe in coaching all around on the business level, but also personal side. So for accountability, but also just giving you different perspectives. And sometimes when you doubt yourself, coaches can be great cheerleaders, but also tell you the hard truth of, hey, you know, you're stalling, or you're procrastinating, or you're talking yourself out of something. So I think hiring a coach, and if you don't hire a coach, get an accountability partner. But at the minimum, get that, and then I would say the coach is worth so much more than what the cost is. And like I said, you know, on a personal level, but also on a business level. And then for tennis, I have a coach. So it works.
I agree 100,000,000,000% with that too, like on the coaching piece, because I have a coach too. So, what is the greatest lesson you have ever learned?
Oh gosh, what is the biggest lesson? I think the biggest lesson, greatest lesson that I've ever learned is really about giving. Naturally, I like to give, but sometimes maybe not as much as some of my family members are always so giving, and I've been lucky enough to see them through the years just modeling that behavior. And what I've learned is, for me, every time, you know, even when I'm down, if I give, I always get so much more than just asking. And of course you have to ask for help when you need help, but really what I've learned is that you get so much more when you're giving than when you're receiving. And that is, joy comes from that, so much fulfillment comes from that, and really with no expectations, but you know, yeah.
What would you like to be remembered for?
Oh gosh, I would love to be remembered for being somebody that made a difference, a positive difference in people's lives, being able to inspire them to take action, to do things that help them, help their family, and you know, whether that be through you know, just giving them tough love. So I say that all the time with my kids. You know, I might not be the nicest, easiest mom, but the thing is, what I learned from my own family and my parents is being, you know, truthful, honest, and giving people the feedback that they need in order to help them grow.
That's awesome. I love that question. What do you want to be remembered for? Because it has so much meaning. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you heard it here at Real Producers. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
You've heard it from Nova Real Producers.